Yo, yo. We back with another 5-minute drill. My bad, 10-minute drill. And maybe even longer than that. Because, sometimes I just get the rambling and they go real. And today we are going to be talking about some words, some comments, some, mishap analysis that were made by your very own Lizzo. So before we get started, thank you for joining your boy again, Devon, back with another 10-minute drill. Can you like the video, share the video, please leave a comment. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it real quick. So today, as I'm I'm scrolling through Twitter as I wake up a little bit, and I see a thread about body positivity. And I'm all for body positivity. I believe that everybody should feel comfortable. I believe that everybody should love who they are, no matter where you are in your journey. If you're okay with being bigger, larger, but at the same time, we also have to be very cognizant of the messages that we are pushing, as well as the arguments that we are pushing. And the bigger issue that I had with the statement in itself was Lizzo referring to or alluding to the fact that weight was to be actually synonymous with how race functions. I have an issue with that because race and weight do not have any of the same parameters in and around them, nor do they have the same effects. But we're going to take a quick listen to what Lizzo had to say in regard to that before we get in it a little bit more.
In this country.
And trade places with somebody who was on the heavier side.
I'm glad she asked, because this is giving me very much when that sociologist, Dr. Jane, asked that room full of white people, raise your hand if you want to be treated like how black people are treated in this country. Or raise your hand if you would wake up and be black tomorrow. And nobody raised their hand. And that's because they know that there's some systemic bullshit that happens to black people that does not happen to them and will never happen to white people. So, yes, if I asked you right now, have you been shamed? Yes, you've been through a lot. Yes, it sucks being a person in this society because we have to go through so much to love ourselves. But would you switch places with a fat person's body tomorrow? You would not, because you know that there's a whole system that oppresses fat people that you do not experience and that you will never experience. So let's remember, body positivity, yes, we want to end harassment and shame, but we also are working to dismantle a system.
So, fat people, one, are not oppressed. You can work your way out of your fatness. I was 350 pounds prior to my current weight that you see. You have full autonomy over yourself. And this is where I get a little bit confused with all of these arguments around how much autonomy a person has and power they have. But then when it comes down to something that is in your full control, you suddenly lose power and become oppressed. Again, I don't have anything against fat people. My mom's fat, my sister fat. A lot of people in my life are overweight. But what I would say is also, too, we can't continue to neglect the fact that we are in an obesity crisis. We can't continue to neglect the fact that though you can be healthy at larger sizes, there are weights that once you get to a certain fat body mass index, you are liable and you have a higher risk. We're not saying that it's synonymous, but you have a definitely higher risk to heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, stroke, gallbladder disease, sleep apnea, mental illness, body pain and difficulty with just functioning physically. There are a lot of different things that go and come into play when you're talking about an individual having to take control of their own self. And so this whole notion of this is similar to race in any kind of way, and body positivity isn't being helmed or larger women aren't benefiting from body positivity is a complete oxymoron, because body positivity is about being positive, no matter what size you are. It's about being positive, no matter what your disability may be, no matter what may be. The whole idea or concept, I thought, was that you ought to be proud no matter if you got an ugly big nose, lower nose, skinny nose, fat belly, big belly, skinny, 6-pack, 2-pack, 1-pack, big butt, little butt. That's what I thought that it was, but it sounds like that there was some miscommunication, and I am completely against making racial oppression, systemic oppression with obesity, and somehow because of that, all fat people are oppressed. That would mean that fat white people are oppressed, fat Asian people are oppressed, and that none of these people have control. Now, what we can do is have a conversation about how systemic racism leads to obesity with food scarcity and all of these different things. That is a conversation. That is a valid conversation. But the fact that you don't have control and that you're oppressed, and because you're oppressed, you're fat, is false. I think the body positivity thing is coming to another head that has just gone completely haywire. And the fact that we have this notion that, again, you can't have the same level of autonomy, because Lizzo said this. So on one hand, you have all the autonomy in the world, woman power, hit me raw, which I agree with. You have autonomy, you have power, but in the same breath, you're saying to me now that you don't have power. That's where I'm lost. You have control over what you eat. You have control over how much you work out. And again, we could talk about systemic racism, food apartheid, food deserts, the lack of access to healthy foods, and how marketing plays into that. But you also have power to not indulge in those things. And as a person who is of a particular wealth or economic class at this point, especially Lizzo, you do not have that as an excuse. And so, no, you are not oppressed being fat. It's not the same. And it's disrespectful to every other group, not just African Americans, descendants of slaves, but every other group that has been oppressed, whether due to their ethnic background or their racial one. Because sometimes it's white on white and it's difference in ethnicity. Irish, Jewish, etc. Or you can be same thing in the Asian community. They have ethnic oppressions as well. Same thing on the continent of Africa. In America, there's racial oppression because its foundation is built on two opposing races. But you're crazy to think that, one, you're entitled to the rewards of a movement around body positivity when body positivity in itself is about all different body sizes, shapes, kinds, colors, races, and heights being proud of who they are despite. Thank you. And without further ado, we're going to finish out with another 10-minute drill. Hopefully, we got under time today. We right on it. Again, hit that like button, hit that share button, and we're going to come back at y'all with another 10-minute drill. Again, help us get to that 1K. Leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Are fat people oppressed? Are they not oppressed? Did I miss something? Did I get it wrong? Tell me what you think. Bring the smoke. Again, it is what it is. Much love. Thank you. And we out.